Hey everyone, welcome to another video review. This is the Transformers MPG-14 God Bomber. Well, a masterpiece version of the classic God Bomber from Victory. Well, not Victory. It wasn't Victory. Was it Victory? No, it wasn't Victory. It was Super God Master Force. That's the one. Yeah, you can see him there in front of the box. We'll go ahead and put him off the side real quick and take a look at said box. And yep, he is. This is a very large box. You can see that. It's a very MPG box. You got the blue line right there, the MPG logo. You got both his robot and vehicle modes right there. You got MPG-14 Cybertron Armored Warrior God Bomber. Where's it? Yep, Godo Bomba. Yep, Bomba. Yep. You got the T-Spark logo right there, Takara Tomy up there. On the top, of course, the Transformers MPG. Right there. On the side, you have a picture of God Bomber in his vehicle mode right there. On this side, you have a picture of God Bomber in his robot mode right there. On the bottom, you have some warnings and whatnot, with materials and all this stuff right there. Not all for adult collectors. This is not a toy. It says ages 15 and up. And also on the back you have, hey, a whole bunch of product shots, what's included, a little bit of a bio, and all this stuff, and yeah, there's what's included and all this. Hey, look, you combine with Super Ginrai and Ginrai, I guess. So there you go. Beyond that, he also comes with the instruction booklet, thankfully, not a poster, which is fairly straightforward. There is one part I will mention real quick. I mentioned in the transformation video already, but there's one part I will mention real quick about regarding one of the transformation steps. So there's that. Nice bit of artwork there too. And of course you have the bio card, which has the same bit of artwork except smaller right there. And on the back you have the bio and tech spec stuff. And there you go. So, MPG God Bomber. Yes, I've been looking forward to this one. Yeah, this is one of the two possible releases. There's also the MPG-14S release, which basically it comes with a stand and a couple extra parts to basically make the prototype version that they showed off. Like showed off in a while ago. They showed off like the prototype version of God Bomber from G1, and I thought about getting that one, but I realized the only thing I actually wanted from that whole set was, well, the box itself. So because basically all the prototype parts would be like, hey, here it is on the review, and then go in the box and never seen again. But regardless, yeah. You see, getting in close here, yeah, you got the very chromed front end, very kind of weird looking truck thing. You got the headlights, you got the Autobot symbol, you got the blue translucent windows and everything. You got the blue coming down here, you got the gray with the blue striping and the Autobot symbol right there. You got his big old wings, his cannon, missile cannon thing, the gray, well, his feet are just kind of chilling out back there, the wheels with the silver. Yeah, pretty darn, well, for considering it's a God Bomber, there's always the just kind of inherent goofiness of it. And yeah, he got that inherent goofiness, all right. He does roll pretty decently. He's also nice and weighty too. I'm surprised. And generally though, he just looks pretty good. These you can mess with these a little bit. As for accessories, I just have a couple. I'll show them off in a bit. But first of all, yeah, I'll show them off as I go along. First of all, he's got a couple of hey, look, some of the Master Force, I guess, or no, some of the Headmaster peoples. Yeah, there's Minerva. You can see Minerva right there. Decent amount of paint right there. Looks pretty good. Maybe her hair right there. I believe this is, which one was this? Nightbeat. Yeah, Nightbeat right here. You got Nightbeat, blue and yellow. Nicely done. Was this Ghost Shooter? I don't remember this one exactly. I think this might have been Ghost Shooter or something like that. Yeah, decently picked out. And these guys, the cool thing is you can open up the front here. Yeah, you just get in there, open that up, and again, nice blue and brown. There's some good paint in there, good solid quality paint, and you got some detailing right there, like little consoles and whatnot. But yeah, there's little slots right here for the under the three seats, and you could take these guys and just slot them in, like so. Here, get that. That one's a bit stubborn, yeah. You just slot them in. It's right there. People might come yell at me about the order or whatever. I don't care about order. I don't care what order is supposed to go in or whatever. This is the order I'm putting them in. Deal with it. Yeah, you put them in right there, and you can close it up, and there you can see them through the window and everything, and that's pretty cool. But also beforehand, the other thing about these is yeah, you can see also they got the tabs in the front, which means they're also compatible with Ginrai's cab. So you can put them in Ginrai's cab as well if you want. I don't think, yeah, these side ones kind of really slot in there pretty solidly. I'm a little worried about that over time. There's that. And oh yeah, coming down here a little bit. Just to give an idea. There you go. Here's a little Ginrai that came with, well, Ginrai. You can see, yeah, he's a bit taller, but that makes sense. Adult versus teenagers, I guess. You can see, yeah, you can see they all have the same slots in the front, so they can slot in the Ginrai. So there you go on that. Because that's aside for now. And yeah, the other thing that he can do also is you can basically bring the wings out. You bring the wings out, like so. This, and then rotate these bits around right here. And now he's got a flight mode. I mean, it's goofy, and you know, that's the other thing is you can see, yeah, this is supposed to tab in. Mine doesn't tab in super well. I don't know why, but it likes to pop itself right back out. It's not a huge problem. It holds together pretty solidly otherwise, but yeah, for some reason this part right here just wants to tab it, doesn't want to tab it. But yeah, he's got this, I guess, flight mode, which is pretty neat. And yeah, he's got these blast effects, which are the same exact ones that showed up with Super Ginrai. And yeah, these can peg into the back right here, both sides, for yeah. Flight effect. Woo! That's pretty cool. Yep. It's a blast effect thing for, yeah, blasting off, I guess. Yeah, that's pretty cool in its own right. Wait. Got my head already. Yeah. So overall, that's pretty neat. And also this thing can move up and down as well. And also the missile tip right here can come off, although, yeah, that comes off as well. Which, yeah, I don't think that, yeah, it's definitely too big, because, yeah, that's not fast effect compatible or anything, so there you go. So yeah, it's a pretty cool vehicle overall, I mean, generally, but, let me think, how do I want to do this part? Okay, I'll do the individual God Bomber comparisons first, and then I'll show off the rest of the functionality. So yeah, here's MPG God Bomber. I never got around to doing a review to this guy because it took me forever to actually get my hands on him. Here's the Fans Hobby God Bomber, whatever they called him, God Armor, I think, something like that. Yeah, I never actually did a review of this guy. I never got around to it, so. But yeah, there you can see them there. Pretty comparable in size overall. This one's a little bit bigger, I think, just slightly. Well, wider anyway. About the same length. Yeah, about the same length though. Actually, I think. Yeah, they're about the same weight even. So, there you go on that. And of course, here's G1 God Bomber, because of course. Well, this is actually, again, this is the Commemorative Series reissue from 2003-ish or whatever. But yeah, it's the same thing, essentially, but yeah. You see, again, that weird thing of, like, it's not much smaller. So, there you go, on that. Very lightweight. Yeah. Now, as for connection functionality, there is a couple things you can do. One is with just Ginrai's cab. Pretty cool. There's a little adapter here that comes in the box. It's a little adapter, and that you plug in to plug in here right here like this, assuming it doesn't collapse on you. You plug into Ginrai like that, and then right here you lift this bit up right here. You lift this up right here, and that plugs in the back right here, and now it's Ginrai's, well, towing just God Bomber. So that's pretty neat. And of course, gotta remove this bit right here as well. Gotta remove this because it's only for this bit. Yep. And of course, yeah, if you have Super Ginrai as a whole, you come up under here on the trailer and flip this out, and hey, look, there's a hole, which, yep, God Bomber can hook up to, and now you have the whole, well, massive convoy, I guess, so to speak. Weirdly enough, this actually lifts the front of God Bomber off the ground enough that, yeah, he doesn't really... Well, he did, initially. You see, yeah, turning radius is kind of... That's your min limit right there. It also doesn't... It's not super... The connection's not super great. It doesn't take much to, you know, accidentally, like, bend this down and, whoops, now it's disconnected entirely. But, you know, there's that. And, comparison-wise, if I can do this, oh boy, this is going to be a bit of a nightmare, I think. There's a Fans Hobbies version, which is quite a bit larger. Longer, I should say. You can barely even see Super Ginrai from behind it. There you can see there's Super Ginrai's version, the Fans Hobby version. And here's the G1 version. You can see kind of right in front of it. No real good way for me to do these comparisons because how massive this becomes. But yeah, you can see this is a bit shorter overall. But yeah, there's the whole train, I guess. And so that's pretty much it for the vehicle mode. So I'm going to get him transformed into robot mode, and we'll go from there. Yeah, so, yeah, robot mode here is, yeah, it's actually pretty good, actually. Really good looking robot mode. Very stylized. Not quite anime accurate, but that's kind of okay with me. Some people are going to, you know, cry foul, but yeah, whatever. Getting in close a little bit. Getting a bit close. Yeah, you can see nice bit of silver face there with some blue eyes, a little bit of yellow crest on there. You got the silver again on the... You got the wings kind of just chilling out in the back, there. You got some, you know, mostly gray, some black and red all about the logo, some blue here with some yellow bits tips on the wing tips right there. More gray, except for shaded gray too. Some red right there, some teal, more blue and red and black down here. Cleans up pretty well. I mean, he's got a really shiny backpack, but, you know, well, back, I should say, isn't really not much of a backpack other than, I guess, the wings themselves, but that's kind of more stylistic, if anything. So yeah, looks really, really good overall. It's a really good looking God Bomber. I rather like this one. This is a really good one overall. As for posability, his head has got a ball joint, like, or I think it's a dual swivel thing. So you got left and right there. You got another hinge right here, which lets him go look way up and down a bit. This, if you untab, you can, you know, you can adjust the angle of that, but, you know, that means untabbing it a bit. Shoulders, you do have ratcheted forward and back. You have outward right here. Oop. That can pop off because, well, combination. Now you got outward there, and you also have outward right there as well. Right, yeah, you have outward right there as well. So you got pretty good outward. You do have forward right there. You have a butterfly joint right there as well. You do have a swivel above the elbow right there. You do have a elbow right there, and you have a swivel below the elbow. So that's a lot right there. Hands right here, they're on mushroom pegs, so you got, you know, swivel right there. Don't mind. There we go. Got swivel right there. The fingers themselves, you can see the thumb here is on a hinge right there, and the fingers are all on the... There's a hinge of the base and the hinge of the knuckle, and the pointer finger is its own separate thing, and the other three fingers are just one solid piece. The waist can go left and right about that far before it stops. There is no ab crunch, there's stuff packed in there. There's no way there's an ab crunch is going to fit in there, unfortunately. The hip skirts get out of the way, so go forward that far. This hip skirt right here, you have to untab that one first and then move this one. Move that one out of the way. So go back that far. If you get those out of the way, go out that far as well. You have a thigh swivel right there. You do have a pretty good knee bend right there. Down here at the feet, you have a, well, actually ratcheted ankle joint onto that there. The toe can actually move up like that and move, well, we can't really move down unless you move this one down. That kind of creates a problem in its own right. But yeah, you got all that for posability. Not bad. Not bad at all. And of course, I guess you can adjust the wings if you want to. But yeah, not bad at all. Yeah, I almost forgot, but one thing I did want to mention, yeah, the one big thing about the transformation, it's overall pretty solid transformation, pretty simple too. The only thing is right here, when you're tabbing this, and I talked about this in the transformation video, right here, these tabs right here, a couple people have actually broken the tabs right here because they just assume, oh, you just, push it in. No, what you want to do is, you have to bring it in an angle, because yeah, you see this angled slot for this angled tab. If you just push it in, there's a good chance you'll just break the tab off. So you have to come in an angle like this and then kind of bring it around the tab, and that works perfectly fine. I believe that's how they showed it in their official video, but yeah, the instructions themselves, you'll have a bad time. Yeah, again, the instructions, if you just follow the instructions blindly without paying attention to stuff like that, you're going to have problems. So yeah, good looking robot overall. As for accessories, of course, he does come with a couple, including, well, there's one that showed off in the robot mode, they're like little dudes, but again, you got the blast effects we can, attach like right here, like this if you want. You can attach them right here on this thing. A couple other places you can attach, we'll get to those in a little bit. He also has a sword. Oop. He also has a sword, which is nice and chromed as well. Also got the gold handle. This is supposed to be able to tab into his, into the hand. Unfortunately, it has the same exact problem Super Ginrai has, which is, it doesn't tab in super great. It's like the exact same problem. Also, I forgot there's another thing, which is there's a hinge at the base of the hand as well. There's a hinge there. Keep forgetting about that, but yeah. The problem is, yeah, the tab is attached to the knuckle joint, so get this weird thing. Not only does it not tab in well, he looks awkward holding it. It tabs in actually pretty poorly. I'm going to be really honest about this. It's a really poor tab and slot. Can barely get this thing. The problem is also this handle's way too big for his hand. Oop. It's purely clearly designed for a different hand. But yeah, it's supposed to. This is, I don't know. I'm trying to get it in there. Come on. Yeah, it's supposed to be able to hold it. And it kind of tabs in, but not super well. And again, you can see it kind of looks awkward when it's in his hand. It tabs in, but it doesn't take much for it to pop out. Actually, that's the best I've gotten tabbed in ever. But yeah, also the shoulder cannon can come off. Like so. You can fold this away and yeah, rotate it like this. And hey, look, there's a handle with a slot in, or tab on it. And yeah, this can also go into the, the slots on his hand. Or this is the one, if I remember, this is the one that has a really bad time. Yeah, this one does not like to stay tabbed worth beans. Yeah, this does not like to stay tabbed in very well. To push it in pretty hard, and then also on top of that, it's kind of an awkward grip. But you can hold it. Just hold those things if you want. But yeah, those are the weapons. Yeah, I like to keep this, attached to the shoulder because that just looks cooler. Shoulder cannons are cool. And shoulder cannons are cool. Swords are cool too, but yeah. One accessory he does have, of course, is he's actually got a stand adapter because yep, the masterpiece stand. This just you lift this up right here, and there's a little slot right there, and this just slots into the back right there like that. And then you can take any masterpiece stand, like this one, or the one that's included, 14S, and just plop it over top of that, and knock the sword out of his hand. And there you go. He, now he fits on the stand just fine. So there you go. Yeah, and of course, yeah, that just kind of comes off. Pretty straight. That actually comes off pretty easily too. So there you go on that. Look at keep that sword off the side because that's just not going to stay in his hand very well. But yeah, looks overall really good. It's a really good robot. Looks really good. Poses pretty well. It's just one of the best. Honestly, it's one of the best God Bombers I've ever seen, and I have several of them now. As for comparisons, let's see. I think the comparison here is next to Fans Hobby's God Bomber. Which including mine having a bad right arm for some reason that does not like to stay tabbed in worth crap. Which, yeah, noticeably taller there. Or, yeah, Fan Zombies version is noticeably taller, but also, he's got his weird, he's kind of weird looking in some ways. He's got a not great face, honestly. And again, on mine, the right arm does not stay on very well. It just doesn't latch, doesn't want to stay latched. It's not terrible, but this is way better. Of course, here he is next to G1 God Bomber, which, yeah, that was this thing is not great looking anymore. Very lightweight and hollow too, because of the nature of it. Also, here he is next to Ginrai. Just give you an idea there. Of course, here he is next to Super Ginrai. Which, yep, that is a good, I think overall it's pretty good. Again, there's going to be some liberties, I believe God Bomber is supposed to be roughly head-to-head, but that's, I kind of think that's, I honestly think this is going to be as close as you're going to get without, say, some serious, finagling. Yeah. That's it. So, yeah, gonna go ahead and get him now that we're talking about robot mode. Gonna go ahead and now get him into ready for combined mode, and then we'll bring in Super Ginrai and we'll get it all ready to go. Okay, so now I've got God Bomber here all disassembled and ready to go. Right there. You can see all the parts there. Yeah, just go ahead and bring in Super Ginrai. And yeah, we got to get him ready to go. So yeah, going back up a little bit. Yeah, so I'm going to put this off the side so I can bring him closer. Here we go. Yeah, so get him ready to go. Of course, first thing is if you have anything on the shoulders here, take those off, like including the guns or the extra pieces. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about some of that stuff in a little bit. And then what you got to do, of course, to get the hands, you got to get those folded away. So, of course, you got to, open that up. Open that up, and then, of course, rotate the hands in, close that up, and close that up right there. Like that. And again, same thing on this side. Open up that, open that up, rotate the hand in, close that up, and close that up right there, and then bring that down right there. And then, of course, also at the shoulders, this is a weird one. Like right here, you got to bring this bit of the shoulder out, and you got to bring this out, and then rotate this blue piece up. And back here, see, there's a little sliding piece right here. There's a little notch right here too. You got to line this up so the sliding piece right here will go up into the little notch of the blue piece. It can be a little tricky to get that lined up perfectly sometimes. You slide this piece up, and this should lock this into place, at least somewhat decently. And then same thing on this side. Yeah, bring this shoulder piece out, and then bring this blue piece up, so it's sitting more or less parallel with the chest again. And then slide that up, and that should lock things into place. This side, on this side of mine, unfortunately, the right side, it seems to be a little that's not as secure, unfortunately, as the left side. So you got that. And then back here, well, you gotta untab this and bring this up and bring the blue piece all the way forward like this, and then yeah, you gotta have that ready to go. This is gonna flop down. Also, this part right here, you wanna go ahead and bring this down. That right there as well. That's probably going to flop down a bit. But yeah, now Ginrai, Super Ginrai is ready to go to attach God Bomber. So we'll go ahead and go start from the bottom up. So the feet, you can actually attach on either foot, but there's this right here. The gray is supposed to be on the outside. Remember that. The gray here is supposed to be on the outside. This is supposed to be on the inside. The wheels are supposed to be on the inside. Remember that. Yeah, of course you can see it's two pegs in a hole, or two pegs in the tab. It goes in two holes in a slot, so that goes in right there. We'll click on the place like that. And same thing on this side. Just line that up and peg and tab it in. That. See that down there? Now it's a bit taller. Coming up a bit. Okay. These, of course, the arms. It's a peg right here. Just peg hole. Let's line that up and peg it in. That, give it a good. Make sure it's a good solid squeeze. Same thing. Just peg that in like so. That's the gauntlets in. And then you take these pieces right here. Make sure you have them lined up properly. There's pegs, and they go into the peg holes in the sides of the shoulders. Like that. Now, here, what you want to do is take this piece, this thing right here. This will see there's the tabs. There's the tabs here. The slots there on the back. You just go ahead and tab that in to the back. Like so. Tab into the back like so, and then just bring this down and around. And this right here, these tabs are up here. These tabs right here will go into the slots on top of the God Bomber torso. Once you got it all lined up. Yep. And I'll go in there, hold that in place, and then you can just fold this bit down right there. So, there's the backpack. And of course, finally, the chest piece. Okay, this is the part people are a little bit careful. Basically, people have scratched up this thing, but basically, the more or less you want to do is just push this head on. These 4 tabs, you can see those 4 tabs, will go into these 4 slots, and this will go over top. So you want to kind of angle these up a little bit, just so you have a little bit of room to maneuver here. Make sure everything's nice and straightened on that, and then just go perfectly in like this, and this will tab in like so on both sides. Make sure it's good and firm, both sides. And then up here, these will come over, and these you can see there's little slots right here. There's little tabs on the sides of the right here next to the smokestacks on Super Ginrai, and that will just come down and tab in. Like that, and that. And with it, and then of course finally you take the gun here. This peg right here will go into this peg hole. You can actually either a peg hole, but it's supposed to be on the right side. Everyone knows it's supposed to be on the right side. Peg hole right here. And with that, you now have God Ginrai. Yep, that sure is a God Ginrai, alright. It's a really good looking God Ginrai, honestly. I rather like this guy overall. I do have my small complaints, some small complaints about him, but overall I do really like how this guy turned out. He's a good bit taller than he used to be, thanks to the shoes, and yeah, it generally looks really good overall. He's also got quite the backpack. You can see that his backpack, he's a thick boy now. He's thicker than he used to be. I'm trying to straighten that out. Hold on. There we go. Yeah, he's quite a bit thicker than he used to be, that's for sure. Yeah, he's got a lot going on. I do have my qualms about him, but biggest thing is I'm not really a big fan of the fact that the shoulder pieces and the gauntlets just kind of peg in. That's it. That's all they do. They just peg in. There's nothing else securing them. They just peg in. And with the shoulder in particular, shoulders are pretty loose. They're not like super loose fallout. They're not like fallout loose, but they're definitely kind of looser than I like. And some people have claimed it's due to the anime parts. The little if you remember the Super Ginrai, the little triangle pieces that go on the shoulders. I barely use those other than the review, and people are complaining about stress marks. I don't see any stress marks. I think it's just simply these pegs right here are actually too small. Because like these guns still go in securely, but yeah, these pegs are just way too small, I think, for this. So they're pretty loose. So I'm going to probably try to thicken up these pegs a bit. So because yeah, as stands, they're just kind of loose and wiggly, and I don't really like that. Oh, yeah, these guns right here, you can see. Yeah, they peg in down here on the on the sides of the feet, because that's where they go, of course. Peg on the sides of the feet. Like that. Yeah, I don't really like how the shoulder. I don't like this how shoulders and gauntlets are just held in by a peg each, and yeah, the shoulders are really. The gauntlets are actually pretty solid. I don't feel like they're gonna come off any soon. I wish there's something like holding it in more secure than just a single peg. The other thing is, it's something that do with Super Ginrai that a lot of people has kind of come up, which is ratchets, particularly ratchets in this blue thing right here. Now, basically the complaint is the ratchets in here are way too, well, they're too tight. People complain about is what people complain. People complain these ratchets are too tight and there's stress marks, and there are stress marks. I have opened up mine and found some stress marks on mine. However, I don't think there's stress marks from the springs, because people are saying the springs are too strong. I don't think it's the springs. I honestly think those stress marks are from them. They over tightened the screws at the factory. I know the common knowledge right now is it's the springs, but that's not a too strong of a spring. That is a perfectly good spring. That is nothing. It's a perfectly good, buttery smooth ratchet, and that is definitely not. That's not a problem. People are complaining that's a problem. That is not a problem of a ratchet. The other one in here, the lower one, is a little bit tighter, but again, not too bad in my opinion. It's not too bad overall. But that's not where the stress mark is on mine. The stress mark was on this one. The one that's fine. So I think it was just an overly tight, and people are just experiencing overly tightened screws. I'm not seeing any real issues beyond, yeah, because I'm sure I have stress marks, but I don't think it's really causing any further damage. And people are basically going in and removing springs inside those ratchets because they're afraid of it, breaking. And yeah, if you want to go do it, go ahead. But actually, I'm starting to also think possibly one of the contributing factors to seeing those stress marks is people opening up, because when you open it up, you got this plastic sitting, like this. When you open up, the spring causes it to do this, and it's bending, and that's what's causing some of the. I think that might be causing some of these stress marks. Ironically, people are opening up to check for stress marks is what's ironically causing stress marks. As it is, I'm not having any issues. I am going to be brave and just keep it as is, no modifications. So we shall see how that plays out in the future. But I don't think it's actually the springs. I genuinely do not think the springs aren't really a problem. I think it's just it was just over tightened screws from the factory. Which case, that's just a simple there's 3 screws right here on the side here. Just kind of loosen those a little bit, and you should be fine. You just loosen those three screws and you should be fine overall. Basically that's my advice, but if you really want to go ahead and remove the springs, go ahead. It won't really affect anything. That thing doesn't need to be ratcheted at all, but yeah, I'm not going to mess with it. As for posability, he's pretty much the same overall as Super Ginrai. Same. The heads. This is unaffected. Shoulders are pretty much the same. You got to watch out, particularly on mine. The thing that's holding this shoulder out is not super tight on mine, so it doesn't take much for this to start to collapse on the shoulder to collapse on you if you move it too much. Yeah, it still has the butterfly joints and everything. These are all still the same. I think there might be some limitations now. No, it's far enough forward. You got the hands. Can still rotate. These fingers still open and close. Fingers still open and close. It's still got the that right there, these thumbs still on that hinge. Those are, it's different hands, but it's exactly the same articulation, just bigger. So, you know, separate finger, you know, hinge, wow, what's the words I'm looking for? Knuckles at the base and mid knuckle and base. Hinge and, yeah, hinge and base and mid knuckle, although mine's kind of, this one's kind of loose. Actually, they're both kind of loose. So you got that, and of course, yeah, they get the hinge right there, and you got the swivel, and yeah. Yeah, me just messing with it made it start to kind of slowly pop off a little bit. I see, yep. This came undone a little. This one's, mine on the right side's loose a bit, so I'm going to see if I can figure out how to tighten that or something. Because it's just a slider on a pin. So let's see if I can figure out how to tighten that. And of course, down here at the feet, you still have same ankles as before. No differences there. You do now, I guess, have a toe joint, separate toe joint. Although it's mostly lower. You can kind of fake a upper toe joint, but it's going to be a little weird looking. So, yep. Yeah, and speaking of the hands, though, when it comes to our accessories, yeah, it's still the same exact problem Super Ginrai and God Bomber have. These hands are no different, which is they are very bad at actually holding things, you know. So yeah, bring this out. Yep, you got the slot right here, but it's on the knuckles themselves, which means it's kind of a weird overall system. So get this on there. Let's see if I can get this on there. It doesn't hold very securely. Doesn't hold very securely. Doesn't look good, but yeah, looks a little weird. Also, that's actually probably more secure than the other sets of hands, but still not great. Particularly since how he has to hold it winds up makes it look kind of holding it kind of weird. That's unfortunate. Again, same thing with the sword. Sword is also has the same problem, just simply doesn't hold very well in his hands. It's a very weak connection, tab and slot connection, and again, it looks weird. And of course, you push the thumb in too much, it just kind of pushes the tab out of the slot, so he just looks kind of weird. His hand looks weird in holding it, so it's kind of a weak design overall for the hands. And the guns, the weapons, so that's kind of disappointing. Of course, yeah, you can still hold his, these guns that came with Super Ginrai. What I like to do with these guns, though, is, taking some inspiration. I take the bigger rifles and I just kind of, you know, peg them onto the back of the wings here, and I think that looks pretty alright. You can also, you know, do the thing where you take the little guns and still, like, you know, hook them over top of this. You can also, you know, like peg them into the forearms like this. I think that actually looks pretty cool. Not bad myself, but you know, you can do whatever you want there. Peg those in the forearms. Those are the Super Ginrai. Again, these are Super Ginrai weapons. You also God Bomber also comes with one more stand adapter. This one is for, well, the God Ginrai here, and that just, of course, you can see there's three pegs on the back of this thing, and those go up and under here in the 3 peg holes like that. There you go. It's a longer one than the one that came with the Super Ginrai. So you can still, you know, bring out a stand, you know, go over top. And of course, the thing with this, I'm gonna bring this up a little bit higher, quite a bit higher actually. Yep, there you go. Now, you know, now it's adapted to the stand right there like that. So if you want to do that, you can. Put them on a stand if you want, and there you go. Get this removed. So yeah, that's the God Bomber mode as a whole. I have my qualms with it, but it looks really good overall. It just generally looks really good overall, just even with my qualms, including again my biggest thing simply being I don't like the single peg for the shoulders and gauntlets, and yeah, a lot of people have been complaining about the stress marks on the screws on the back on the boot thing on Super Ginrai, although that seems to have predated, because someone out there right out of the box opened up and sure enough it was already stress marks, so it's not caused by attaching the God Bomber parts. Some people initially assumed like somehow that the God Bomber parts were causing it, which doesn't make sense considering this is causing no extra problems there, but it's not causing any extra stress for this part, so that would make no sense. But yeah, people are just discovering it because someone was like, oh, it's cool. I don't know, I guess finally people are taking it off the shelf and noticing that or something. whatever. As for some comparison stuff, getting this, getting some comparisons in. Here is the Fans Hobby God Bomber. Oh, that gun just came off because of course it did. Okay, well, it was never particularly. You can see the Fans Hobby God Bomber is actually not much taller. Not that much. He's about a head and a half taller, I guess. He's also chunkier as a whole. So yep. And the gun fell off there, but yeah, it's because they don't tab in super securely in the first place. But yeah, there's that comparison. With the G1 God Bomber, or in this case, this is the Commemorative Series Super Power Master Optimus Prime with Apex armor, technically, but yeah, you can see quite a height difference there. Different proportions too, concerning the heads. Yeah. So, yep, there you go. I should just put them in the, I guess, close to similar pose. Yeah. So yeah, that's the God Bomber / God Ginrai. As a whole, I think it's really good. It's one of the best God Bombers I've ever handled. It's as a standalone figure, it's actually good, which is surprising. A lot of the God Bombers are pretty bad as standalone figures, and this one's really good as a standalone. It transforms nicely. It's a fun figure. It looks good. It poses well. There's a couple things to watch out for, namely the what was it? The slots and tabs on the shoulders when you're transforming. You got to watch out for that. Some people complain about the ratchets and like the legs. I'm not having any real issues with those, so I'm not sure if that's might be my mileage of everything. But my ratchets are fine. I'm not seeing any. I'm not feeling any real like, oh, they're too stiff or anything. So I don't know. Some people are complaining about that too. I've noticed, but I've started noticing that, but I haven't really encountered any issues personally. Oh yeah, one last thing I almost forgot. There's one last accessory to, well, I guess feature, not accessory. It's not really so much a case, yeah, but rocket punch. Yeah, moving this. You pull that off his hand, and then what you do is you fold this back down right here. You fold that back down like this, and I guess you form the fist. And this right here is a peg hole, and peg that in right here, and then it's supposed to peg in right there, but yeah. Yeah, pegs in right there, and then like right here on the stand, yeah, there's this peg hole right here goes over this peg, and this is supposed to. And there you go. Now you got a flying rocket fist. Cool. Almost forgot about that because it's just yeah. But yeah, that sure is a thing you can do. Yeah, I think one person had a problem with this thing was like splitting, but I think that's because of a misfired pin, because there's like hinge was like splitting. But yeah, I think that's a one-off thing, because I haven't seen any problems and I'm not having any issues, other than sometimes the hands get caught when I'm rotating. When I'm rotating them around for transformation, sometimes the hands will get caught, but it's usually pretty simple to fix. So regardless, overall, this is a really good figure. God Bomber is a good figure overall. Yeah, articulation is largely the same when you do God Bomber, which is surprising. A lot of them get kind of articulation starts to get super restricted. The only real restriction I can think of is the ab crunch now is going to be useless. It still works. Well, the problem is the weight of the backpack now is so enormous that it's just going to fall right back down. That's a friction joint, so it's not going to work very well. But yeah, God Bomber is really good. It's a really good figure of mine himself, and of course it combines mostly pretty well with Super Ginrai to become God Ginrai. My biggest problem is basically the arm area is my biggest problem personally. Some people have apparently pointing out that supposedly the springs on Super Ginrai's little blue armature thing on his backpack is bad, but I'm not sure if that's the case. I'm not sure if people are correctly identifying the root cause, but regardless, you might want to investigate that if you feel it's a problem. But yeah, and he also balances really well. I'm surprised, considering how much extra weight goes on the back in particular. He still balances really well, so that's a good thing too. And yeah, it's just a good overall figure. The only thing is, yeah, even if you buy directly from Japan, he will cost you almost $200. Somewhere in the neighborhood of about the $190 range, $190 range, $190 to $200 range for just God Bomber. That's on top of the extra, the $200 you spent on Super Ginrai. So that's a lot of money. That's basically $400 worth of toy right here. And is that worth it for this? Kind of when you're at this kind of high-end toy thing, it's like, yeah, that's kind of seems to be right where you are. Something like this large and whatnot seems to cost usually in the $350, $400 range nowadays. So yeah, this I think it's worth it. But I also have always really liked Ginrai and Super Power Optimus Prime and whatnot, Power Master Optimus Prime and whatnot. So I've always liked the concept, so I'm totally on board with it. But yeah, he's got his couple little flaws, and also on mine particularly, again, one of the shoulders doesn't like to tab in properly, so it comes loose really easily, so it doesn't take much for it to just kind of, one of his shoulders start flopping around, but he's overall really good, and I think it's worth it. It's a good, solid figure. God Bomber's own is a good, solid figure, and works really well, and he's a good, he's pretty hefty in his own right as well, so I think he's worth it by himself. He's just be prepared for the fact that this whole set will cost you something in the neighborhood like almost $400. Just be prepared for that. Yeah, he's good, but he's expensive. He's good, but expensive, so just be mindful of that. So I think that's it for this review. I hope you found it informative and entertaining. Hope you like, comment, subscribe. Check out my social media, it's down in the description and at the end of the video. Check out my Coffee Mate Patreon, and I shall see you next time with another video review.